Hello there and welcome back to Beauty Bee, where today we're going to go over my fall favorites. It's hard to believe that it's actually time for fall favorites, partially because it's really not based on my usual schedule. Usually I try to wait until the season ends before I put up a favorites video, but it's not relevant anymore to put up a fall favorites video on like December 21st. That's full on winter. The Christmas spirit is upon us at that point. So I decided I would film mine today. So my general spiel in these videos is that I don't want this to be a shopping list for someone. So I try to keep my specific product recommendations to one, maybe two, depending on the season. Instead, what I try to focus on are techniques that I've been liking, types of looks that I've been liking, types of products in a more general sense, and we kind of go from there. Let's start with my one fashion favorite, and that has been rings. I've always liked rings. I've definitely been someone who ebbs and flows with them. I've always liked the look, but I, in the past, have really tended to go for really super cheap jewelry, and that meant that they weren't always super practical. I don't want to have to take off my jewelry when I wash my hands, and especially this last year and a half or so, I've been washing my hands very, very regularly. So I don't even want to say investing. I've been spending a little bit more money on my jewelry recently. I think this was like $18 and maybe this was like 12. I've actually had this for a long time. I just really only had one nice ring, so it didn't get a lot of use because I like the look of multiple, but just purchasing rings that aren't, $7 for a set of 3 has really allowed me to get a lot more use out of my jewelry. And just in general, over the past several months and probably for the next couple years going forward, I am trying to update my jewelry collection a little bit. I have a lot of jewelry that I purchased when I was in high school or like my first year of college, and that's been 10 years at this point. So a lot of it isn't my style anymore, and because I was a high school student slash, freshman, sophomore in college, I didn't have any money, so it's almost all really cheap, and I'm just not quite as willing to put up with the downfalls of cheap jewelry as I was when I was 17, 18 years old. We're going to use nail polish as our transition into face makeup. A manicure style that I've been just loving over this past season is a two-toned manicure. I did a terrible job. I already had planned exactly what I was going to talk about in this video when I did my nails last night, but I still just went for one color. But the manicure that I've been really loving is putting down a light cream polish, and then on the upper half of the nail, I'll put a darker cream polish, often in a pretty similar color. I love the effect that gives. I'm someone who loves interesting nails. I love sparkle. I love stickers. I love painting each nail a different color. And I think that all of that is really fun. But sometimes I feel like it can be a little bit more childlike than I'm necessarily going for. I feel like that two-tone manicure is adult, it's chic, it almost reads as somewhat minimal, and it's something that I can do without buying any extra tools, any extra accessories. I can just do it with the nail polish that I already own, which is a huge plus for me. As far as my beauty favorites go, I'm actually modeling one of them today, actually a couple of them today. The first one I want to talk about, though, is this eye look. This is a very, very simple eye look, and it's one that I've done so many times over the past month with minor variations. Basically what I do is I will put one matte color, usually a pretty mid-tone matte, all over my lid, all over my crease, and then if I need to, for example, today I did need to, I added a little bit of a transition color. Often I won't even bother with that step. And then what I will do is I will put a topper shade. My go-to has been this one from ColourPop. This is the shade Flower Child. It is a gold topper. I will put that all over the lid. It gives me a lot of dimension. It looks really interesting. It has a lot of pretty sparkle to it, but I'm wearing 3 shades on my eye. It is such a quick, easy look. I've been really enjoying it. Next up is the other one that I'm wearing today. This is a very warm lipstick, which is a type of color that I have been more into this past season than I have ever before, I think. I have tended to default to a very pink lip. I like pink on myself. I think it's a color that looks good on me. It's a shade that I just like in general, even, you know, not as far as clothes and makeup go, but I like the color pink a lot. But the last season I have been liking something just a little bit warmer, so much more. So I pulled 3 examples. What I have on my lips today is a lip liner from Kiko, which I'm actually going to talk about in a video that I'm going to film in like 20 minutes, so we're not going to go through that today. I don't want to repeat myself too much, but one example is from Sephora collection. This is one of their melting lip clicks in Brulee. This is a brown, which again, brown lips is not something that I would have ever said I liked a year and a half ago. This is from e.l.f. It's one of their sheer slick lipsticks in Golden Pear, which is a bit more peachy. And then this is a great lipstick that I've been loving. This is MAC Addicted to Chili. It's one of their Powder Kiss lipsticks. I love this shade. I think it's super, super pretty. And just warm lipsticks in general. They're so pretty. I don't know why I had largely locked myself out of anything warm for so many years. That was silly. Why did I do that? Speaking of things that just add that perfect amount of interesting to a neutral look, I got this Beauty for Real olive liner a couple of months ago in an Ipsy bag, and I wasn't totally sold on it, I'll be honest. But this is so pretty with just a super neutral eye. I'll just put it right along my upper lash line. Really, I focus eyeliner especially on the outer half of my eye because I don't have a ton of lid space that shows when my eyes are open. And I will also put this on my waterline, and it is so pretty. It is green enough that I think it brings out the green in my eyes. I think it plays really nicely, especially with slightly warmer neutrals, but it doesn't feel loud at all. I've been really enjoying this shade. I don't think it's anything to do with the brand name. I don't think that the Beauty for Real liner is any better or any worse than dozens of other green eyeliners I could find, but I've been loving this olive shade. Realizing that I forgot to talk about my fragrance favorite before we got into makeup, but something that really surprised me over the past couple of months is how much I've enjoyed unisex fragrance. Now, obviously, all fragrance is unisex. There's nothing stopping a man from putting on a super floral perfume or a woman from wearing something incredibly musky. you do you, whatever. It's just the scent profiles that I have tended to enjoy most in the past were very, very sweet. I love super fruity perfumes, just general sweet. In fall and winter, I could sometimes get a little bit into the really gourmand notes and that sort of baked feeling, but in the past year, my preferences have definitely shifted a little bit. I've been preferring things that are a little bit more toned down, a little bit more mellow, and I've been really enjoying some unisex fragrances. I have been absolutely loving the Gucci Memoir Juno Dare rollerball that I have. I've really liked some Jo Malone gender neutral scents I've tried. It's just been really fun to try some new things, and I'm so excited that I found sort of new scent profiles that I'm really interested in. This isn't the point of the video, but I feel like fragrance is the next big thing in the beauty community. I've definitely heard multiple people this year say that they've been more into fragrance than ever before, and that's how I felt as well. I think that in 2022, we're going to start seeing a lot more fragrance content on beauty channels in the same way that a few years ago we started suddenly seeing quite a bit more skincare content on makeup channels. But in any case, the one product recommendation that I have this month, or this season, sorry, are these Tarte magnetic palettes. Tarte offers their empty magnetic palettes at actually a really good price. I think they are just always on sale. And I want to say that I got this one for like $4. This is so much better quality than you will get from like a ColourPop palette. I know that a lot of people have those. This is very, very sturdy. There's no give at all to this cover. I find that these are just a hair deeper than a lot of empty magnetic palettes are. So if you have eyeshadows that are just a little bit bigger, you're not going to have any problem with this not closing. Oh, I took a chunk out of my neutral. That's sad. And like I said, it's quite sturdy. It's really easy to wipe down, not that I ever do. And these come with a mirror, which is really, really nice. If you are ever placing an order on the Tarte website, I would suggest taking a look at these palettes. They're not very expensive. They come in, I think the ones that I would recommend are really just this one, which is sort of a 9-pan palette size. I think it's a little bit bigger than the 9-pan palettes you would get at ColourPop, but pretty similar. And the big leopard one, which I think holds 25 eyeshadows. So it's much bigger, but the quality is the same. I feel like my eyeshadows are very secure in this palette in a way that I don't think they are in my ColourPop ones. Okay, and to wrap up this video, I always talk about a goal that I had for the last season and set a goal for the upcoming season. So in the last season, I really wanted to play around with skipping steps in my makeup routine. I wanted to, not always wear eyeshadow, blush, highlighter, bronzer, lipstick every single day. I wanted to see what kinds of different effects I could get by, leaving out a step or two here and there. And I can't say that I really focused on doing that, but I sort of ended up doing it just because I've been so busy these past couple months. I found myself really paring down my routine a lot of days. I know I talked in one video about how the previous 3 days I had worn my Pacifica blush on my cheeks on my lids, and then that was the only face makeup I was wearing. Sometimes I would wear some tinted lip balm, and I found myself doing something similar to that quite often. So I kind of achieved my goal, but I did it in a much less analytical, much less thoughtful way than I had hoped that I would. For the upcoming season, my goal is going to be a little bit different than it has been in the past. Usually I try to focus on learning a new technique or something, but I think that my goal for the next 3 months, or however long it is until I make my winter favorites video, is going to be to use every lip product in my collection at least once. I think that should be doable. I think I have probably right around 30 lip products. I'll be doing my inventory in December, so I guess I'll learn exactly how many I have at that point. But, I mean, it will be a lot longer than a month before I film my favorites video, and there are definitely lip products that I layer on top of each other, so this will be very achievable. I just need to actually make progress towards it. So there are my favorites. I hope you enjoyed this video. I would love to hear what you've been enjoying the last few months. I always love hearing from you guys. That's just a consistent favorite. And I hope you'll consider liking and subscribing if you enjoyed this video. Thanks again for watching, and I really hope that I will see you all next time.